this is a guy that all the other badasses are calling him the badass of all the badasses. He's just like, he's got a reputation that, you know, everyone's heard of him. He's like a rock star.
Game of Thrones is one of the most epic shows on TV, rich in story and characters, most of which are certifiably badass. This week, Realstream counts down the top 10 most badass characters from Game of Thrones. We're sticking only with characters that have been introduced in the show or have had screen time. Be aware, there are tons of badass characters in the series, so don't come expecting your guy to be number one.
If you think this has a happy ending, you haven't been paying attention.
Number 10. Stannis Baratheon.
Salt and smoke.
Born amidst salt and smoke. So you have.
For what we know as a series, in Robert's Rebellion, he was pretty awesome. I mean, he held Storm's End, almost starved to death holding Storm's End, and then in the Greyjoy Rebellion, he destroyed the Greyjoy fleet, and they kicked Tywin's ass, so it's like, you know, he's pretty awesome.
The one battle that he actually did fight, I mean, he lost the show. And so far in the show, he hasn't really done a lot except lose.
He's not incredibly badass, I think. I mean, on a scale of 1 to 10, with 1 being the lowest, he would be at the bottom, and so he's a perfect place for the bottom of the list. He's going to be on it.
I have a lot of respect for Stannis. He's done a lot with very little, especially at times. I think he definitely deserves to be on the list. I would have put him a little bit higher myself. In the show, I loved it when he just went ham and just killed a bunch of Lannister men, just himself. He was the first dude over the wall. You know, you've got to respect the commander that fights side by side, leads the vanguard.
Come with me and take this city!
Takes charge as much as Stannis does. He's the man.
Number 9. Daenerys Targaryen.
Daenerys Targaryen, Dany. I honestly, I don't like Dany. I don't like her at all.
No, I mean, she shouldn't be on this list. Everything that she's done, I mean, except for killing Khal Drogo, is all been by proxy. I mean, either dragons have killed someone or her soldiers have killed someone, but she's not, you know, she should not be on this list of Game of Thrones badasses.
Honestly, I feel like the reason why she's on this list is because of what she did in season 3.
Dracarys.
Dracarys.
And burns all the slavers. Now, everybody felt good at that part.
Yeah. Out of everybody that made the list, I feel like she should have been 10, if on the list at all. Personally, I think, it's kind of hard not to be badass when you have 3 dragons and an army of Unsullied at your side, like totally under your command. But she has a strong character, I guess. She has a strong will. I'm just I don't like her.
Number 8. Robert Baratheon.
A stupid name. Lancel Lannister. Who named you? Some half-wit with a stutter.
Robert Baratheon. Yeah, Robert was cool.
I mean, at one point, yeah, he was badass, but, I mean, in the show, this is like years later after he's let himself go. I mean, he's constantly drinking.
Yes, it's been a long time.
Most of the things that are so badass about him, we didn't actually get to see on camera play out in front of us. You just hear these great stories about he was this fierce warrior and a brave leader. His days are mostly behind him. Well, they're completely behind him now that he's dead, but I feel like he could have been higher.
He could probably take on the mountain by himself, back in the day. He killed Rhaegar Targaryen.
Caved in his breastplate. Probably shattered every rib he had.
And he was pretty awesome.
Number 7. Sir Bronn of the Blackwater.
You're an up-jumped cutthroat. Nothing more.
That's exactly who I am.
Not like a lot of the characters who are like highborn or anything, but he's always got something funny to say, little quips that he does, like after he fights somebody.
Oh, look at these two shining warriors.
You know that if he tried, he could probably take anybody in the kingdoms, though not in conventional warfare. He's one of those that, if you can't win by fighting fair, fight dirty.
He's a real likable character. He doesn't really have any allegiances, so I couldn't say he's a loyal, fierce knight in the traditional sense.
You don't fight with honor.
No. He did.
He's kind of brave too. At the end of season 2, when he's talking to the Hound right before the Battle of Blackwater, how he's kind of goading the Hound, and the Hound, he's not somebody that a lot of people necessarily talk down to, except for maybe Joffrey Baratheon, because people who talk down get cut down by the Hound.
Number 6.
Any man dies with a clean sword, I'll rip his fucking cock!
Sandor Clegane, the Hound.
Oh, number 6. Wow, I'm a little surprised that he made it that low.
Face all burnt up and intimidating.
The Hound, yeah, he should definitely be on this list. I mean, because he is really a badass, except for he's afraid of fire. But I mean, other than that, yeah, he is a badass.
The guy takes on like 4 or 5 guys at a time, cuts them in half. He's a cool character. He's another one of my personal favorites.
The king.
Number 5. Jon Snow.
Jon Snow. Oh man. I'm of mixed opinions about Jon Snow.
All you gotta do is get past the bastard.
He's kind of always hiding from battle, running away from battle. He has a lot of battle sequences, but they're all pretty much he's been cornered and has no other choice.
Jon Snow, so far in the show, he hasn't really done a lot. I mean, he will do a lot of like really badass stuff later on in the books, but the show just hasn't gotten there yet.
I think Jon should be a little bit lower. I don't think he should be in the top 5. I mean, the most badass thing he's done is beat up a bunch of trainees. Is he better than Bronn, the Hound, and Robert Baratheon? I would say no.
Number 4.
I, Eddard, the House Stark, Lord of Winterfell and Warden of the North, sentence you to die.
Dead Ned.
I like Ned a lot. He's really badass. He played a huge role in Robert's rebellion. That whole Tower of Joy thing. I know they don't mention it a whole lot in the show, but something big went down there, and we need to know what it was. But basically, it came down to him and Howland Reed took out the Kingsguard, and one of the most badass fighters of all of Westeros at the time.
You still get the concept that he is still a badass at his older age. Just from the line when we were watching these the other night, and just from the line to Jaime.
I don't fight in tournaments.
Well, getting a little old for it.
I don't fight in tournaments. That's when I fight a man for real. I don't act nor I can do.
So it's a little cool.
I mean, he was able to take on Jaime Lannister despite the fact that he's like so many years older than him.
As an older man, as a man who has like 5 kids. When's the last time you saw a man with 5 kids take on anybody half like a third his age? Never. Guys with 5 kids, they drive minivans and go to soccer. That's what they do. They have beer bellies. They host Super Bowl parties. That's what guys with 5 kids do.
Number 3. Tywin Lannister.
Yeah, he is the Mr. Burns of Westeros, I feel.
A lion doesn't concern himself with the opinions of the sheep.
Yeah, I mean, you don't really see him do a lot of fighting, but I mean, he does. I mean, he can really put Joffrey in his place if he wants to.
You just sent the most powerful man in Westeros to bed without his supper.
You're a fool if you believe he's the most powerful man in Westeros.
He destroyed a huge opposing family that was almost equal in power to the Lannisters. That's where the Castamere were. They were a huge family, and now there are none, not one. They are all dead, deceased.
Tywin Lannister is the guy that everybody's afraid of. To me, he reminds me of like the Godfather. You know, people need a favor, they come to Tywin Lannister. You know, even the Red Wedding was something that you would see happen like in a movie like The Godfather. You know, where he would kill everybody just like that. That's Tywin Lannister. You know, he says the word, people die.
Do you disapprove?
I'm all for cheating. This is war. But to slaughter them at a wedding. Explain to me
Why it is more noble to kill 10,000 men in battle than a dozen at dinner.
He got his family first. Well, he's himself first. It's all about himself. But the Lannister name means a lot to him.
It's the family name that lives on. It's all that lives on. Not your personal glory, not your honor, but family.
And he's elevated them to an elite level in Westeros. And yeah, he's a badass.
Number 2. Khal Drogo.
Khal Drogo is cool.
Khal Drogo, yeah. I mean, Khal Drogo is definitely a badass and should be on this list, except for the fact, I mean, he did kind of go out like a punk.
It's really described in the show that his hair is so long, almost down to his knees, because he's never been defeated in battle.
Kicked a lot of ass in the few episodes we got to see him in. He gave Viserys his golden crown finally.
A crown for a king.
That was one of my favorite moments in the first season. Also, when he ripped out that dude's throat, that was pretty crazy.
You know, and here's the thing about Dothraki. Robert Baratheon was afraid of Dothraki. You know, he was all paranoid about them coming over and killing everybody. And so Khal Drogo is the baddest man of this group. Dude, if you were to get a dictionary, look up, and, you know, go through, let's see, Alpha from the Power Rangers, Alpha Centauri, Alpha Lanterns, Alpha Male, you would see Khal Drogo's picture in that description. That's how badass Khal Drogo was.
He's kind of like a raiding Rapunzel.
I think he's the most badass character in Game of Thrones.
Number 1.
I can't stand the wailing of women.
Tyrion Lannister.
one word, and I hit you again.
I think out of everybody, he does the most out of so little. He really doesn't have that much going for him, other than his intellect, his wit, his charm, and he does a good job working it. I mean, he gets on. He gets what he wants, what he needs.
He may not be intimidating physically. There's a reason he's called half man.
Cut off his manhood and feed it to the goats.
No. There are no goats, half man.
We'll make do.
Tyrion, yeah, I mean, despite everything that he has going against him, he is a badass. I mean, he can kill somebody with just a shield. I mean, he can, like, take an axe and cut someone's leg off the knee. And, I mean, he can really, I mean, even in, like, all the politics that you see in the show, he can also hold his own with all of them, too.
He's killed people. As crazy as it seems, I mean, not like his father where he's used trickeration and killed people. No, he's like straight up murdered people.
You know, and he has one of the best lines in the show. You know, those are brave men beating down our doors. Let's go kill them.
Yes, he is a badass, but you know, head to head, Tyrion Lannister versus Khal Drogo, I don't know. I mean, I love Tyrion, don't get me wrong, he's my favorite character in the show, but definitely does not deserve to be number 1. He could be number 2.
Afraid not. Sorry about that.
I think that we got the list kind of right. I really think we're right there. I think the only person who should maybe move up 1 spot is between Ned and Robert.
Bronn is... I don't really have a reason. I just like the character. It's just...
Bronn and the Hound and Robert Baratheon should be up higher. I think maybe the Hound should have been at number 5. Jon should be lower. Dany should be, if she had to be on the top 10, she should be number 10, not number 9. I don't think she should have been on the list at all, to be honest.
Dany should be lower. I mean, she should not be on this list at all.
Well, Dany should be number 10.
So what do you guys think? Is the list right?
You did well.
Or did we totally just screw this up and are going to hear about it in the comment section? Either way, please subscribe and check out more of these videos on Realstream.